Hi, this video lecture 18.1 on the Berlin Blockade. At the end of World War II, the Soviet Union had controlled most of Eastern Europe and began pushing into East Berlin. And the Allied powers with the US began pushing into West Berlin, controlling most of Western Europe. And so the two nations, the Soviet Union and the United States, decided they were going to divide up Berlin into 4 occupation zones. What you see here, and so you've got the French, the British, and the US zone on the western part of Berlin, and the Soviet controlled zone on the eastern part of Berlin, and that would become a tension point during this Cold War period. The Soviet Union's desire was to absorb West Berlin into their Soviet zone of control, and so in June of 1948 they blocked all roads and all rails going into West Berlin. Basically, they surrounded it in hopes to starve out the people, in which case they were hoping that they could absorb West Berlin into their own zone of occupation. The Allied forces with the United States responded with the Berlin Airlift from June 1948 to May 1949, 327 days. We had the Americans and the Allied powers, or the Allied nations, had 277,000 flights, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for those 327 days. And over the course of those 11 months, they dropped or airlifted by parachute 2.3 million tons of food. After the 11 months, the Soviet Union abandoned their desire to absorb the West Berlin into their occupation zone. In addition, you have, because of this, you have in April of 1949 the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, known as NATO, was going to be formed as a way for these countries to defend each other in case of an attack, in particular attack from the Soviet Union or a communist satellite nation. Then you have in May 1949, Germany splits into 2 countries. West Germany is going to be controlled and influenced by the United States, and East Germany is going to be occupied by the Soviet Union. And keep in mind that within East Germany you have the city of Berlin that is occupied into 4 zones. 3 of those zones are going to be controlled by the United States, and the zone on East Berlin is going to be controlled by the Soviet Union.